The Academy was founded in 2013. I remember being hired and discussing with Rob, Carol, and Jared and Chris at the time, kind of what their vision was for the Academy. And that was just, learning, starting off classes, and, I designed an introduction class and to evolving to 6-week classes, and then a series of 6-week classes. And then having so much interest that we have a JOAD program within the Academy.
So I was way before the Academy was even created. I came when I was 8 years old, so like 2008, 2009, and I came, it was just the shooting center. It was very small, and I joined the JOAD because it was the closest in our area, even though it's still an hour and 15 minutes away.
I started archery in 2017, 18-ish. I shot around at Lancaster Archery for a little while, and then I found more out about the JOAD club and team, and I decided that that's when I wanted to pursue that club, make some friends in archery, and really get into competition.
I went through a couple of different clubs first. I went to Perry County, and then I went to Palmyra JOAD, and then from there, someone had directed me to Lancaster Archery. Then we heard that there were lessons with a new coach, Heather File. So I started doing those lessons with her, and they were really great. And then from there, I was asked to go on to the JOAD team.
My dad started working here. They were teaching classes. I kind of got brought into it, started shooting that, and here we are.
Yeah, I got into archery competitively when I was about 8 years old. It was during the time I did gymnastics, but once I was like 12 or 13, I started getting really serious with archery, and I competed in a couple of national tournaments, and that's when I realized from there is when my Olympic dream started.
So the JOAD program, JOAD stands for Junior Olympic Archery Development. It's a program designed by USA Archery with the idea and intent that every 4 years when the Olympics would come around, or every World Cup cycle, that you would have a talented pool of youth archers who would be able to then try to qualify for those teams, to qualify for those games. That way we would broaden the talent pool in the country and make it deeper. And it's been extremely successful. I'd argue that it's probably the most successful program that USA Archery has ever created. Because at this point, most of the athletes who are at the World Cup or have gone to the Olympics got their start in a JOAD program somewhere. So we've always had 2 JOADs that we have run. We have our club JOAD that meets on Thursdays and our Saturday JOAD that meets on Saturdays. And the club JOAD, think of it as like the junior varsity, where we'll have our competitive athletes there, we'll have our recreational athletes there, they're all mixing together, and it's just an amazing atmosphere, and I love it. And then the Saturday team, think of that almost as the varsity squad. These are the ones who are already nationally competitive. They are shooting very good scores already, and they want to take it further, right? They don't want to just be nationally competitive, they want to be internationally competitive.
JOAD to me is where I started my competitive dream of archery, because before JOAD, I would just shoot for fun, and then when I joined JOAD, we had official practices, we had competitions, and that was something I wasn't used to. And to meet other people, to meet older kids, just be I want to shoot like them one day, and I want to go to all the competitions that they go to, and it's just good to have that atmosphere of seeing people and giving you a role model for what you want to get to eventually.
You know, high school sports, you hear a lot of people say that, the team's a family and that, but I feel like you really get it a lot with JOAD because you go to tournaments together and you'll spend, the entire trip together, hanging out with those people, during the shoot, after the shoot, dinner, all that. So it's really just like another mini family.
Whenever I went to school, we didn't have archery as a sport, and it wasn't recognized by my high school, so I didn't really have that community at school to be able to, be a part of the athletics. So then whenever I started shooting for the Lancaster JOAD, then I had a community and a group of people that I could go to, people that were at my level of shooting, and just a lot of friends that I could hang out with.
It's a really good community of people. You have really great archers with you who have the same competitive drive, and you get to become good friends with them because they have that same spirit that you have towards archery. And there are a lot of nice parents you can meet, great coaches as well. The coaching is really great.
I was at the Olympic Training Center in 2006, and that's when Coach Lee was just coming over and the program was really just getting started, but I had to make a decision to either reapply after a few months or go to college, and I knew I couldn't do both, and it was really important to me that I went to college, so I left, went home, and worked towards my degree in communications, and then just happened to apply at Lancaster Archery, and here I am.
So I think one of the first successes that, of course, I've had is the fact that I'm still shooting. So many of the people that I initially began shooting with in college, 99% just aren't shooting anymore. So in college, I was All-American, I believe, at least 3 of the 4 years that I was there. I've placed top 10 at the Lancaster Archery Classic in the past, and I'm continuing to compete on the USAT circuit. And of course, always when I was in college, my thought was, well, the dream job, of course, is to be an archery coach. But there's no such job that's out there. That's just unrealistic. And I remember seeing it going, there's no way. At that time, they were just looking for a full-time instructor. So I'm like, yes! So I move on up here, and one of the things that was part of that program was our JOAD team.
The most beneficial thing that JOAD has helped me with is just with the equipment that we are able to have access to. For an example, the camera room that we have is amazing. In the camera room, you have different angles that you can film from, so you can see your shot process from every angle possible. So when you're working on something or you don't know what's going on in your shot, you can go into the camera room, film yourself, and then you can see exactly what's wrong with your form, or you can see, what you're working on and if it's improving or not. And that's probably one of the most beneficial things, and then the activities that we do too.
I really like the team building activities, like no bows or anything, just kind of team building activities. I remember it was in the main range, and it was called like Cross the River, and we had to get from one side of the range all the way to the other, and that was fun to try to work with like younger teammates and older teammates to try to do that.
I like when we do team activities, whether it's team building or like actual team rounds where you shoot in a team of 3 and rotate. I really like that because it gets you at a faster pace, and it makes you like think a little more critically and just be on your toes. And I like that about archery, that other than shooting individually, you can also shoot as a team, like with a team score. And so when we do team rotation or like just team building skills in general, it's always fun.
I really like to do, it's like drills that you wouldn't expect to do in archery. Like we used to pick a number out of a hat in outdoor, and instead of aiming for the center, you aim for that number that we pull out, and it gives you good aiming off practice. And it's just not something you think of to practice. Like you don't think of, oh, I'm not gonna aim in the center.
But also Brian came up with one that was really good, and we did it this past winter, and it was a hot wing challenge. First thing, we printed out a Buffalo Wild Wings sauce chart. We gave them out to all the kids, and we said, all right, circle your comfort level. We said, all right, go 1 or 2 beyond that. Like what would be uncomfortable? Then we said, all right, hand those in, and we want you to pick a partner. We calculated their 3-arrow end average, and then if they shot above it, then say like a point or 2, then we had to eat the hot wing. For instance, like Casey was a 29. So if she shot a 30, I'd eat a hot wing. But if she shot a 27, she had to eat 2 hot wings.
JOAD has really helped further my archery career. It's gotten me to college and winning national titles at college. And then it also helped me get into working in the industry as well. So it's really helped out.
When I was 13, I made my first national team, and that was to go to Argentina for the Youth World Championships. And I also made the United States Archery team, the USAT, they call it, team that year. And since then, I've made all the senior USAT teams as well as the World Cup teams to be able to travel internationally and compete in the World Series outdoors.
So one of the coaches on our JOAD program, Brian Brady, he shot at JMU, and he's really helped me with getting to learn the collegiate format. He's introduced me to many of the coaches and taught me how to really perform well under pressure in a collegiate situation, such as collegiate nationals, because it is a pretty big event. One thing with collegiate nationals is there's a lot more team atmosphere there, and you have to be able to concentrate while a bunch of other archers are screaming for their teammate to win who's shooting against you.
Which collegiate archery is all about the team. Everybody sees archery, they think individual, but when you get to collegiate, it's The individual achievements have meaning, but I don't think they have as much meaning as the team awards. So JOAD gives you a really good starting point for a team. It's not quite the whole team aspect you get in collegiate, but it's definitely better than just shooting by yourself.
And what we have for that Saturday team is that eventually people would age out of the JOAD program, they'd go to college. And we wanted to have something that would keep them, at least, if not in their thoughts and in our memories, but just kind of give them a way of transitioning away from that team and into whatever they wanted their archery career to be. So we created this idea of the legacy team.
So, can't believe I'm on the legacy team already. It's been 10 years I've been on the JOAD team, which is crazy to say because I'm only 19. But it's a group of past members that left the team and aged out to go to college, and we're kind of just like the old members now, pretty much.
Throughout JOAD and what the coaches have done for me and how they've helped me out, I wanted to be able to kind of give that back to kids who were just getting into it. So it was a great job to get and a great way to really teach what I've been taught to other kids in need with archery.
JOAD has helped me a lot in my current job because I got an appreciation for the people who helped me out when I was in JOAD, and I kind of wanted to give back. So I really wanted to be able to graduate college, come back and work, and then, you know, give the same opportunities that I had. So I used to work as an instructor, so I got to help out the JOAD a little bit there. And then now I'm working in videography, so I really like to be able to give archery information out to people online, and then I also help out in the shop as well.
I've always liked little kids, and like I always helped around like the very little like redneck bow shops back at home, and then I wanted to take it to the next level and kind of get like certified and get like a establishment behind my name to help the kids, and that led me here.
I think this is a great program because we offer a lot of different opportunities for the archer to grow. Now myself as a mom, I have a vision of what I would like this program to be. And I also have different perspective now with my daughter getting into different activities. So as our program continues to grow, like not only is this a program that I want my daughter to be a part of in the future, but I want people to look at this program and go, yes, this is where my child can grow and reach their goals. And I think to have that kind of perspective from an archer and a parent is a fantastic thing. Because it's a positive environment, and that's really what we want.
I would recommend Team JOAD to somebody who is interested because of just the lessons you learn. Like JOAD has taught me a lot of lessons about working hard. You have to put in a lot of hard work to achieve what you want. And so something that JOAD has really taught me and the coaches have taught me is that you can start with a basic setup and get to the Olympic stage. And that's a big message for a lot of people to see.
I would definitely say to give the JOAD a try, or even just one archery lesson. Even if you're just a tad bit interested in archery, you should definitely give it a try, because from my one singular decision to start, I got onto a nationally ranked team. I went to college. I've got national titles. I have a job in the industry now. And that was from just one idea to start. So if you don't start an archery, you don't know where it's going to take you.